Hi everyone, I'm Charu, a yoga coach. Thanks for watching my channel. We're in conversation with my friend Jen today from California, and she's going to share with us about ancient secret and how energy healing really works. She's a certified Qigong healer and a certified emotion code practitioner as well. So excited to talk about this today, Jan. We did our first part last time, and now this is the second part. So I think this is good to know. Like, what are some of these ancient secret, as far as energy healing goes?
Great. It's good to be here and it's good to see you again, Charu. So this is about energy healing. And last time we said that 80% of our illnesses can actually be handled by lifestyle changes. So that's what I want to talk about, is how that is really true. And it really is amazing, the things that I've learned along the way. And that's what I want to share with you, is there is actually a secret. It's something that you just won't hear anywhere. So this is something that's going to be revealed in today in our little talk. So
We like secrets. We like secrets.
exactly. So I thought I'd just talk about the way I started out so that you can understand that, I'm just like you. I'm no different. But in my history, I had a really bad problem with bronchitis that I used to get every single year of my life from the time I was 4 years old. And as I got older and older, it got worse and worse, and it got harder to handle. I was getting it for a month at a time by the time I was in my 40s. And it had me in bed for the whole month. And then when I woke up at night, I couldn't breathe in a lot of cases. I was just having a lot of trouble breathing. And if you can imagine, that's really scary. And the other scary part was that my immune system was failing me and I didn't know what to do. And I thought, if I'm in this shape now, what's going to happen to me in the future? How am I going to deal with this? Because Western medicine had never been able to give me a solution. So what happened was I actually got turned away from my doctor at one point. There was a 4-day weekend coming up, and I was feeling the signs of getting bronchitis. And I knew it was bronchitis because getting it all your life, there's no mistaking.
You just know. Yeah.
Exactly. So he was a new doctor for me. I had moved and had a new doctor, so he didn't really have any of my history. And his PA, I went to her and I said, look, this is a 4-day weekend. You guys aren't going to be available. If I don't do something now, by the end of that 4 days, I'm going to be looking at a month in bed. So I need your help. They used to give me antibiotics to take care of it. And it actually did help. It cleared up a lot of the congestion. But what she said to me that day was, you have to be sicker before we can help you. And I couldn't imagine anything worse. So I just happened to have a card of an acupuncturist in my purse. I had met her a couple months earlier. I had never done acupuncture before, but I always meant to try it. So I called her up right from my car in the parking lot. And she said, come down here right now. She said, I'm going to help you. So I went down to her office. She looked at my tongue. It was the first thing she did. She took my pulse. She asked a little bit about my history, and then she put me on the table and did acupuncture for me. And she sent me home with some roots to make a tea from. She gave me strict directions on how to make it. Add some green onion, add some ginger. And then she gave me some pills to take, some herbs. And she said, go home, bundle up, get in bed, and sweat it out. So I listened to everything she said, and I did it. And I did not get bronchitis. So wow. This was the first time in my life I had been able to stave this thing off. And from then on, I was at her place every time I felt like I was going to get bronchitis. So
that's big, because otherwise you were just using like modern medicine and allopathic medicine to, I guess, band-aid the problem, right?
Exactly.
And you had to keep going back for antibiotics. and whatever else it was. But this thing, it sounds like it took care of at least beginning steps to like pulling out the root, plucking it out.
Exactly. I just did not get it. And, what I was doing with the medicine before, I was still in bed for a month the whole time I was taking any pharmaceuticals at all for it. So there really was no cure. And there are a lot of diseases today that are just not even diagnosed. People know it. So, you've got to look for an alternative. Well, I went to her for a period of 4 years because I had other issues too. I had eczema, had really bad open sores on my shins, all the way up and down my front of my leg on both legs. The doctors didn't know what it was. I had digestive issues and I had a very high stressful job. So she helped me with all of those things. She's the one that diagnosed the eczema. And she told me it was a digestive issue. And no doctors know that. I've asked probably 4 doctors since then, what do you think? Could eczema possibly be digestive? They all said no. One chiropractor said, that's interesting. I'm going to have to think about that. And I always thought that, this is Dr. Chen that I went to, the acupuncturist. I always thought it was Chinese medicine that told her that. And one day, years later, I mentioned it and she said, no, that's in the medical journals. That's Western medicine. So, that's kind of, I'm not saying don't use doctors. Please don't get me wrong. I'm saying use both because they're complementary. They have completely different purposes, that in energy medicine, and they have different results. So that's what I'm saying. So during this 4-year period, Dr. Chen kept telling me, you need to do Qigong. So finally, I moved 300 miles away from her and I had to do something. And I remembered what she said. So I sought out Qigong. And I found my teacher, who I've been with now for 6 years, with the first phone call. It was amazing. And Dr. Chen never explained how the acupuncture worked. She had these charts on her wall. Like if you go into an acupuncturist office, you're always going to see some kind of chart like that with the meridian system.
Right. Yes.
So that's what you end up seeing. Well, I never knew until I studied Qigong the secret why this works. And this is it. The body is very complex. We know that, but it's also built very efficiently. And we have 2 types of energy that we need in order to thrive, in order to really heal. We need energy from food, and we know we eat food, the body breaks down the nutrients, sends it through the circulatory system, it goes to all the cells. But there's another source of energy that Western medicine does not consider, and that is what the meridian system is all about. In Qigong, we call it the energy channels. So our body has 12 different energy channels, and they're in the front, they're in the back, they go from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet. They either start or end in the hands or the feet. And they have different tributaries as well. And there are also 2 governing channels in addition to the 12. So that is the system that carries energy through our body. Where do we get this energy? We get it from nature. We've really isolated ourselves from nature. We live in homes, we work in buildings, we have, a lot of cement, and some of us like to go out and seek nature, but it's not always readily available to us. We forget that nature heals us. And just simple examples of that is when we go out in the sunshine, the body makes vitamin D. We drink water, we get hydrated, and we get minerals from the water. We breathe the air and we get oxygen and other minerals. And we eat food that grows from the earth. So we get the minerals and vitamins from the earth. Nature is built to heal us, and we just forget it. So what happens is this energy that we need that goes through the energy channels comes from nature. It comes from our relationship with nature, which is, we're totally connected with nature.
Yes.
And we just don't think about it. So energy healing helps us to use this energy in better ways. There are different methods of energy healing. Acupuncture is actually energy healing, which I didn't realize before. Qigong is energy healing. Tapping is energy healing. Reiki is energy healing. And they all have the same purpose. They all work with the same energy, because we don't create energy when we're healing people. We work with what we have.
Yeah, it's already built in.
Yeah. So every method really is there to bring more energy into the body. So these energy channels that deliver the energy to every cell of the body, sometimes they get blocked. And that's when our health problems are created. When an energy channel is blocked, and the energy channels are associated with organs and organ systems. So we would have the lung channel, we'd have the stomach channel, the heart channel. There's a channel for every organ, and as well as channels for some of the systems, like there's a triple heater channel. So what happens when these energy channels get blocked, you can imagine, normally the energy flows through the channels like water flows through a river.
Right,
But,
smooth, and well, it hopefully should be smooth, right? So yeah.
yes, but when they're blocked, it doesn't move through. And what happens is the cells on the other side of the blockage are not getting the energy they need to operate optimally. So what happens? They start to break down. And that's when we get the health problems. At first, if it's a small blockage, they break down a little bit. We get some acute problem, like maybe a cold or the flu or a sore throat. It goes away sometimes even on its own. But when that blockage is there permanently and it builds on itself and it doesn't get resolved, that's when we get the chronic illness. So traditional Chinese medicine discovered many, many millennia ago that every single health problem that we have, whether it's a physical health problem, whether it's an emotional health problem, whether it's mental, or even if it's spiritual, it can always be traced back to one or more blockages in our energy channels. Always.
Yeah.
That's
It's just science. It's just a science of nature, right? So yes.
the blockage is what causes the illness. That's the cause.
And I like that you said that. So on the other side, that's where the cells cannot get replenished. They can't regenerate. So that's a really good visual. Like when you said that, and to me, that I could visualize that. It was a very clear picture.
And it's even more than that. Like if there's a dam in the river, the water isn't going to get beyond the dam, but it also builds up on the before the dam. So it starts to flood and overflow. That's also happening in your energy system. But what's the best way to handle any problem that you have? The best way is to find out what's causing it. And now that we know that the cause of all illness is these blockages, then the simple cure is to remove the blockages.
Right. Yeah. Open up those energy channels,
And that's what all energy methods do.
Yes.
All of them. And the last part of that secret is once the energy is flowing again and it's going to all the cells that need it, then it's the body that heals itself. The body is now in a state of balance. It's healthy. The energy is flowing. It's going to be able to do what it needs to do to heal.
Yeah.
And that is the whole secret of energy medicine right there. It's simple.
It's actually very simple, and I think people don't, because it's never really explained to them, like you said right at the beginning, that this is not talked about, it's not explained, it's just we don't hear about it enough, so people don't even go there, because out of sight, out of mind. But if they're educated or they have the right information about it, now that gets something thinking here.
Exactly. And you can make better use of the healing methods when you know that. So That's
Yeah.
really it. It's that simple. The other part of it is that the energy channels don't just deal with physical illness, but they deal with emotional issues at the same time.
Right. That makes sense.
And
Yeah.
that's because our organs store different emotions. And I can get into that at a later time, but
Yeah.
I think
Well,
revealing that
this
secret is
was,
good for today.
yeah, Ancient Secret was great for today, and so much information packed in, I know, a short conversation, but I think people definitely have something to think about, to walk away with, that, take care of your blockages. Go to a practitioner, a Qigong healer, a emotion code healer, and any of these things where you can unblock these passages that need some love and care and attention. And that's a good start. So let's leave it at that then for today. That let's open up the energy centers, open up the passages. And I think the good thing is that there is so much holistic um, help out there. There are a lot of practitioners, so it's not a hard thing to find. So if anybody types in Google, and of course they can also contact you. All the information will be in the description below, how to get a hold of myself or Jan, so that it will be in the description box. And we'll chat more next time about energy healing. Thank you so much, Jan.
Thank you, Charu. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.